Okay. Alrighty. How's it going, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages? Hope you're doing well. Hope you've had a lovely Monday, first day of the week off the ranks. Hope you guys had a good one. Wasn't a bad one by any stretch. Hasn't been too long since our last correspondence. Of course, it is the Monday night live stream where we go over the Supercoach scores. We go over the round as it was, and from a Supercoach perspective, and we talk about how we did. If you guys have any questions whatsoever in relation to possible trades that you guys want to have done because you've got a situation where you still have trades somehow and you're in a position to trade out a guy like Nick Dacos, who has been confirmed will miss 6 weeks, if you don't mind. 6 weeks with that hairline fracture in his knee. My word, that has got massive repercussions for all of us because I'm pretty sure he's got to be close to 100% owned. And the question is right now, between now and end of the year, do you have the capacity to trade Dacos out? If you do, you're on the march. If not, then we're going to hope for cover and just hope that whoever you got on the bench is able to play. Shawnee, mate, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. How was your one day, man? Hope it was a good one for you. So we're going to be going over the games as they were from a Supercoach perspective and seeing, and then, of course, answering any and all questions that you guys may have. So please let me know in the comments and we will get to them. We will start with the first game of the round, which was the Western Bulldogs hosting the Richmond Tigers. The Doggies came out of the blocks and had a ripping first quarter. It was off the charts how heavily they scored and how quickly they scored. Liberatore and Bontempelli. This 1-2 punch has got to be one of the best, if not the best, in the competition. Liber and Bont, they are a force to be reckoned with, and these two alone just carry the Bulldogs and generate so much score off their own boot. Not only does Bontempelli win contested possessions, as does Liberatore, but he also manages to hit the scoreboard. He is such a presence. These two players are insane. Tough accumulators with tackles to go with them, with contested balls, with clearances. Mate, the Libba and Bont show is off the charts. Jamara certainly was on fire again really early, capitalized on all of that momentum coming their way. And he managed to get quite a few goals, probably 4 goals very early on in the piece. So congratulations to Jamara for capitalizing there. Treloar, I got to say, Adam Treloar is having an underappreciated season. Adam Treloar has been playing really well when he's able to stay fit and healthy on the park. He's had a great season. He's getting a lot of disposals. He's being very influential, I think, on contests. So well done to Treloar for it must be really difficult to have to keep trying to play and then breaking down, but he keeps coming back up. I have a lot of respect for Treloar. Well done to him. Rory Lobb, you look at that, 2 goals, 2, and a wonderful dream team to Supercoach ratio. So you can see he didn't do too much, but what he did was very good. Bailey Dale and a seagull roll. And you can see the Bulldogs have a way of sucking up points. It's actually remarkable. They're a black hole of Supercoach points. And when you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players who have turned up compared to the opposition who has had no players turned up, you know which side certainly was the better side on the night. Oh, your Hawks were sensational, Sean. Absolutely. Hey, Jen, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Timmy English, he was okay. He was all right. He was very slow. He was not on a lot of points up until about halftime, but English just continues to show that he doesn't have to have a great game in order for him to score really well. He just keeps plodding away. He plays the full 4 quarters and he gets a lot of points for it. So if this was any other ruckman, I don't think they would have got 112 with that sort of output. So well done, Tim English. He's probably someone that might be too expensive to start next year, dare I say it. Aaron Norton just continues to fly, the astronaut, 3 goals, 2, left some points out there on the field. Edge Richards with an 89 managed to coexist pretty well with Bailey Dale, who went 113. Tends to be one person or the other that goes bananas, but in this sort of situation, they've both managed to find the pill. Riley West is a very clever player. He's a very classy one as well, and he does some good things. Would never be Supercoach relevant, of course. Jack McRae, mate, the days are gone where the big boy McRae was racking the pill at will and just simply getting gazillion points every week. That it's a new McRae on a wing. It does show here that he was also playing midfield, but yeah, it's not the same McRae that we used to know and love. Liam Jones was a very important return for the Dogs. He was really important for him in the way they were set up against the Tigers. And you can see that a Dream Team 37 to 83 ratio, a lot of these possessions would have been intercept possessions, and he didn't muck around with it. He wanted 100% efficiency, and he had 100% game time, if you don't mind. Very impressive for a guy coming back from injury. He was very, very fresh. And there's nothing really else that is super relevant here for the Doggies. Friday Night Football Round 24 will be a good game. It is. It will hopefully be a good game, Jen. You guys will be without Dacos, and we will be without a good team. So I still think you guys are going to win. I really hope that this game that we had on the weekend is analyzed like a loss, because my word, it was tough to watch. And you guys without Murphy as well, not just Dacos. So it'll be very interesting to see how you guys progress from this week. So that's the Western Bulldogs. We then come over to the Richmond Tigers. Jaden Short with a 91 as their top scorer. He worked hard, 20 kicks, 5 handballs, which is not too bad by his standards, and at 80% efficiency as well. So that's pretty good. Noah Bolter, mate, he was fighting very hard by himself, dare I say it. He had a very tough game, Noah Bolter, soldiering that back line, flying for everything. I thought he could hold his head up really high. Noah Bolter, he had a great game. Jack Ross was playing that high half forward role and would pinch in and kick some couple of really crucial goals just when the Tigers looked like they had some periods of dominance. Managed to capitalize and kick 2 goals. Dion Prestia went 21 disposals. Tim Taranto at his classic butcher best 64% disposal efficiency and 4 clangers to go with his name for 25 disposals. It's very tough. It is very tough to get a lot of points against this Bulldogs midfield, which just finds a way to just keep winning the ball, and they're a black hole of sucking up points in the midfield. So for Tim Taranto to score 85, 99 Dream Team, you can see he was impacted by his disposal efficiency. Nank the Tank just continues. I mean, you can't have a 60 disposal efficiency game and expect him to do good. 32 hitouts compared to English's 29, and you look at them side by side, 112 to 82. He was absolutely shellacked. Nick Voston, again, in the back line, not really relevant. Liam Baker was one that some people were thinking about, but he is just a bit of a Mr. Fix-It, and Liam Baker will never be a Supercoach relevant player in my eyes, so I would never get close to him. Is there anyone else? Shai Bolton, that's very disappointing for him. He was fairly highly priced in terms of Supercoach because he was showing some really good form this year. He has a high average, I think, around 97 points. So Shai Bolton to have 12 disposals, 1 goal, 1 for only 50 points is a bit of a disappointment for those who traded him in at some point during the year. And Jacob Hopper, unfortunately, was sent off with the concussion protocols. All of the spotlight on the Port Adelaide team certainly would have helped push Richmond to make this sub. So that was the first game of the week. Congratulations to the Doggies. We then come to this shit show. The Bombrays just getting over the line against the Eagles. 23 scoring shots to 17. As you can see, very inaccurate to the point where the Eagles actually kicked one more goal than us. That was very embarrassing. Zach Merritt did his absolute best in the last quarter to try and lift the boys, to try and get them over the line. Unfortunately, not many people would go with him. He is captain inspirational, but not many people were following him. Nick Hines had a sensational game with 31 disposals, if you don't mind, and he was very clean with it. 80% efficiency. Don't expect this all the time from Nick Hines. Don't trade him in, hoping that this is what he can do. Same thing with Langers. Kyle Langford with 5 goals, 3 to give him a 132, if you don't mind. Our Lord and Savior. He won us the game. Mason Redman. Look, is it a surprise that he's scoring pretty well now that there's no Jordan Ridley in the back line? Perhaps, but he didn't do too hot shot last week either. So definitely might think that his points are being spread out with Nick Hind as well in the back line. But yeah, Zach Merritt was a very clear VC option for a lot of us who owned him. He had an early game, favorable matchup, and he did what we wanted him to do with a 143. Obviously, it turns out that if you went with Bontempelli on the Friday night would have been a bit better, but of course, a 143 for Zach Merritt is nothing to scoff at. Very happy with Captain Zach Merritt. Ended up putting the C on Madden because I was very pleased with what I got there. Globes, mate, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. The voice of an angel, I really appreciate that. I can still feel myself a bit nasally, so I really appreciate that, mate. Much love, Globes. Shawnee, I took Merritt's VC score and missed Sicily's. Oh, mate, we're going to get to Sicily's score in a minute. You can't be too greedy. When you're presented with a 143, you can't not take it, mate. It's Supercoach always finds a way to punish those who are overly greedy. It does. So be grateful. 143 is still a very good score. And then we come down. No one else really relevant. Nick Martin, unfortunately, has had a bit of a role change. He was one that was really entertaining and interesting as a selection a few weeks back. But I don't know what Brad Scott has done. He's brought in Big Nick Cox, right? So Nick Cox has come back in and is playing him in the back line now, which has pushed Kelly, Mr. Jake Kelly, onto a wing, which has then displaced Nick Martin from that wing position and is playing more half forward. And now Nick Martin's position he's not playing his desired role, and you can see his output has absolutely just plummeted. So Nick Martin, for those who took the gamble, took the punt on him, saying that he was in some red hot form, all Australian contention, typical Essendon to find a way to take away a guy who was playing in his best position, all Australian form, and just plonk him at half forward. Oh boy, that's rough. Jai Menzie, 2-goal Menzie, no one really got him. Elijah Sardis on debut. He looked decent. He looked pretty good. I can't complain about Elijah Sardis. He looked really comfortable at the level. 6 marks, if you don't mind. So that was very impressive. That one behind, we almost lost our minds. We thought it was going to be a goal. Alas, it wasn't to be. Over to the Eagles, who really gave us a threat, really gave us a shakedown. Duggan came back into the side this week with a 118. Kelly, he's a gun. Tim Kelly is absolutely a gun. He is a ball magnet and he uses the ball so well. He's so agile. And these points could have been better, could have been higher if it wasn't for that rundown tackle that Archie Perkins got on him in the last quarter. So Tim Kelly, sensational. Witherden, Seagull, and we let them do whatever the hell they wanted to do in their back line. Elliot Yeo was matched up on Langford and was getting an absolute bath. But yeah, he is so injury prone. You couldn't touch him with a 10-foot barge pole, mate. Cripps did okay. Jed Hunt on a wing. But our wingers suck now because we put Kelvy on a wing. So congratulations to him. Big Oscar Allen. The 2 goals, 1 for 69. Very nice. And there's really no one else. Campbell Cesaniro, as our good friend Jonas likes to call him, again with another normal 43 points for him. And BJ Williams was taken to the cleaners this week. Only the 12 hitouts. We did very good in the ruck department. Got 22.97 with track captain. I can show you how I did. If I go then to home, obviously had the VC on merit, and I ended up scoring 24.29, which was a top 4% score. So definitely pretty happy with that. I actually managed to arrest that downward slide that I was slowly going down on, and I'm back inside the top 4,000, which is pretty good. I can't complain about that, considering where I was at the start of the year, no trades, and obviously I had the VC on merit, which is pretty good. And the good thing is I haven't actually changed the setup. This is exactly how I had it set up during the week. It was not too bad. I mean, Himmelberg with a 91 is pretty good. Rosie 99. No one really let me down too much in the forward line. Dunkley had a really bad game, but I mean, everyone's got Dunkley, so I'm not complaining about that. Normally, it's the ruck line that I tend to be slipping in, but when my rucks, Briggs and Marshall, are doing okay, my score isn't paling in comparison to other people. I had the Mills and Hewitt loophole going this week with Drury on the field. I saw Mills as 97. I'm like, I'm not going to be greedy. I'll take it. And then, of course, Georgie Boy pumps out a 99. So he pips him by 2 points. I lost 2 points there, but I was never going to risk 97. So I took the 97 there. And then, of course, there's Dacos with a 41. Sheasel with a 56. Zeeble was playing in the back line once again, just eating into his points. So, look, I'm not very disappointed. I'm not disappointed at all with how my week went this week. It was, all in all, fairly decent. Unfortunately, with Dacos going to be out for the rest of the year, and Constable has basically been disappeared China style, there's no way Constable is ever going to play. I've got to hope and rely on Seamus Mitchell being named and not being used as the sub for the rest of the year. 3 more weeks to go. 3 more weeks to go. Hopefully we can get through there. We're going to continue to do this. This week's going to be really interesting, though, because North Melbourne plays very early, so I cannot loop between Mills and Hewitt. I'm going to have to pick one and select them. And it'll probably be the person with the easier matchup, which probably means I might have to go with Mills, but I don't trust his role. So, I don't know. I might have to go George Hewitt. George Hewitt against Melbourne. They got to play him on the ball against a tough midfield. I might end up going George Hewitt on the field for this week. Who knows? Obviously, Briggsy can come back on there. And then in terms of VC and C, I haven't really thought about it much, to be honest. But you're right, Globes. We were so bad with the way they transition out of the back line. It's the way we transition or the way we let them transition out. Both are pretty bad. Both were pretty bad as it is. So, yeah, I know. It is vomit-inducing stuff. I've been listening to a whole bunch of Essendon podcasts last night and today after work in the car. I was listening to and I was just trying to suss out what everyone, try and get a wide range of views of from Essendon supporters about this game. And I mean, it's no surprise that overwhelmingly a lot of it was negative. Still managed to go up 116 in rank. Good stuff, Jen. Well done. Globes, what's your thoughts on how to keep people engaged? Would you like to see injury trades not effectively costing us anything? Yeah, well, See, for me, I mean, why would the question then becomes, why are we so enamored with this idea of we have to have people engaged all year long? See, for us as normal competitors, I don't think we mind if the competition actually dwindles, if we have less people to compete with during the course of the season. If I'm trying to play and win the money, if I'm trying to go for a top 100 finish or a top 10 finish, the likelihood of me doing that increases the less number of people there are for me to compete with. So I, as a competitor myself, I'm not too concerned, to be completely honest with you, Globes, with people wanting to drop out. It just increases my chance. Maybe that's just my competitiveness that I just simply want to win as much as I can. But I'm not overly concerned. And also, another benefit that I was saying when I was invited onto the Supercoach Edge channel and I was talking with the boys there, Damo and Liam, and I was telling them that there is something that players who continue to play every single week have that those who drop out don't have. And that is a shot at the weekly money every single week. If you have the highest scoring team in a given week, you can win $1,000 doubled if you're a member of Supercoach Gold. So I think there is some good incentive already to keep playing, to keep sticking around. It is a long season. And I think it comes down to these sort of communities that are starting to pop up more and more now with every passing year. When you can come up with groups, when you come up with cash leagues, where you can come up with prizes if you're able to come first in anything, you know what I mean? So obviously, the Herald Sun, the Supercoach community aren't directly themselves doing that, but they've set it up in a way where individuals and groups can incentivize increased game plan throughout the course of the season. What the Herald Sun can do to increase that, look, I think they're always finding new ways. I'm not sure how many people suggested that the boost was a very good idea, but they came up with it and it was great. We loved it. Maybe having a utility player to be subbed on in the event of an emergency, so that in when you have an injury, for example, or a concussion during the game, and you don't feel robbed because that stuff is out of your control. So I don't know, Globes. There's certainly a lot of scope and a lot of people who will probably be talking to the Herald Sun behind the scenes to try and help people to stick around. But for me, I'm not overly concerned. I'm really not overly concerned. Whatever they do, we'll try and adjust to it. And if people don't stick around and they drop out, well, that makes the competition easier for me. That's the sort of way I'm looking at it. I'm not an ambassador for this game. I know I might be a content creator now for you guys, but at the end of the day, I'm still Joe. I'm still an individual. I'm still looking to win. And any way I can find, any way there is for me to keep sticking at it, increases my odds. Imagine having Zeeble in your team still. I know, right? Jeez, it could be a very positive turnaround for people who manage to hold the faith. Need Melican to play so I can loophole him with Dacos. Yeah, it'll be tough for Mel. I think we'll have to have a look at their injury list at the Swannies. He's able to play every quarter again. Look, he's retiring, and they've got nothing on the line. So you never know. He might be able to play every week. Sports Nut, how's it going, man? I'm fielding Big Campbell Chester this week. No trades left and Dacos out. I think a lot of us are in the exact same situation, Sports Nut. I also have no trades left, and I'm relying on one Seamus Mitchell to keep holding his spot in the team and not be a sub. So I just need 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Come on, Seamus. Keep it going, man. Believe in your son. Shawnee, maybe a different style interchange bench could be an answer so you can retain more players, especially when injured. that might make it more interesting. So being able to retain the players, especially when injured. Another way it could be, another possible. I'm not sure how they would have to change the interchange bench in order for you to keep the player, but maybe if you were in a situation where there was the injured symbol on the player. So say, for example, I don't have any players here that have the injured symbol. But say, for example, Nick Dacos, when the teams come out, or in a day or two when the system updates, and we'll see an injured symbol next to Dacos's name. Maybe it could just be if you trade out an injured player, it doesn't count as a trade. I don't know if that will mean that we'll have too many trades by that point, and that could, if they were to do that, then they might have to scale back the number of trades that we have during this, how many starting trades we have. So maybe we could have a situation where they take off maybe 5 trades or so to go back to what the trades were before. However, if you are trading out an injured player, it might not count as a trade. Could be that way because you'd be intending to keep this player for longer. However, shit's hit the fan and you're forced to trade this person out. It's outside of your control. They're injured. You can trade them out. I'm not quite sure if that. I think that should be fairly easy to code. If injured symbol, don't count trade. I reckon that could be a rule that you could make in Excel probably. So yeah, that could be an option too. Having free trades for injured players. And maybe even suspended players as well, perhaps. Corsa, how's it going, man? What happens in leagues if the matchup is a draw in the finals? That's a very good question. I've never played League before, Corsa, to be completely honest with you. I've never played League. Last year was my real first year, actually even playing seriously, and I wasn't in any leagues last year. This is my second year of serious super coaching, and so yeah, I haven't had the chance to. That's a really interesting one. It might come down to who has the better percentage, perhaps. Got Took back, which is good. Absolutely. You got Took back, and Took is doing good things. We will get to his game right now, Jen. We come to the Crom hosting the Suns at Adelaide Oval. Mitch Hinge. Who would have thought that Mitch Hinge would find himself one day the number 1 scorer in the game with 123. Congratulations to Hinge. Darcy Fogg, the Fog. He's a great player, the Darcy Fogg, mate. He sits up there in that forward line with the big Texan who does a great job protecting him and helping out, taking the number 1 key defender. And Darcy Fogarty is a pure, beautiful kick of the football. Massive respect for him. He has a sensational career ahead. 3 goals, 2. Give him a 120. Matt Crouch just continues to remind people, hey, I can still play footy. And I can still accumulate the pill like no one else. So who knows if the Crows clearly have demonstrated in the past that they don't want to hold on to him. With this sort of output, I would not be surprised if there's a team, at least a team out there, willing to give him a shout. James Borlase, as the debutant with a 112. That is very, very impressive. He had the 18 disposals, 9 marks, if you don't mind. One of the great debuts of this season. Rob, 41 headouts for 105. Very impressive. That is toe-to-toe with Witsy. That is very impressive by Rob. Saliga with a 102. Very inconsistent. What a game. Laird and Dawson, neither of them turned up. That is a very weird thing to see. Especially they're playing at home. That never happens. And a lot of it comes down to, look at this Rory Laird disposal efficiency. 58% off 24 touches. He was certainly bolstered by these 10 tackles. And that's what you get from Rory Laird. He's a tackling machine. Ben Keys, look, he scored you an 80 this time, guys. It's not entirely doom and gloom. He was the hot hand early. He was on fire. And then he sort of drifted away and not doing what he was doing before. It's okay. 80 points, for 17 touches is not bad at all. I would not be complaining. I'd be very happy with Ben Keys right now as cover. I wish I had him as cover. But it was a really weird game. It's a really weird week this week. As you say, Tone, Laird and Dawson and Dunkley Neal had bad weeks. So you've got these guys, these dynamic duos were really flat this week. I think it's because Darcy Parish, Zach Merritt, and Bont and Libber, these two dynamic duos just sucked up all the energy, all the powers. And Brayshaw Sarong won. You are right. Great games from them. Jared Witts led the way for the Suns, 39 hitouts. He is a tough man to beat in the ruck, big Witsy boy. 109 Supercoach. He was the only one to ton up for the Suns, who won 109 points. Will Powell, the 94. Flanders with the 91. I'm sure a lot of Flanders owners are absolutely rolling around in a fit. Where was this at the start of the year, you bastard? He's just come alive in this back half of the year. The Ratkins with an 84. Noah Anderson down on his scoring. He only had the 84 Dream Team with 82 Supercoach points. 22 disposals is not a lot. 5 tackles is still good. He had 63% disposal efficiency, which held him back. Where's Matt Rowell? Matt Rowell is there, right underneath him. These duo, 82 and 80. And where was Tuke Miller? Tuke Miller. Am I blind? Where's Tuke? I'm blind. Tuke Miller was suspended. That's right. Because of his nut grabbing. That's right. There was no Tuke Miller. So, look, he'll be back next week for you, Jen. I can't believe he got suspended just like that after the fact. Unbelievable. With no due process. That is rough. Poor Tuke. And, yeah, no one really else of consequence here for the Suns. So that was this game. We then move to the next one. The Hawkers. Sorry, Jen. We have to talk about this now. Sick Dog defeats the Magpies. It was an insane game by the Hawks. Sicily, 37 disposals, 19 marks. Get out of here. At 89% efficiency, 97% game time, 1 clanger only. Get out of here. What was this game? And that's why this guy cements himself. He's got to be All-Australian. Sicily has to be All-Australian. The way he can impact the game is just unreal. You have to tag him. You literally have to send a defensive forward to really negate him. You have to do what the Saints did. Because if you disrespect him and just simply say, we're going to beat you, you're not. You're just not. Exactly, Sportsnut. They have to tag him or they will pay full price. And he is up there. Now, if you guys caught our stream yesterday, we went through who the top players in the league are, and Sicily certainly showed up. So if we come here, best player in the comp. Now, we've got Sicily at number 5 after Petrarca, Kerno, Bont, and Dacos. I personally didn't have him there. Big J and Causa, and I didn't. I wanted him higher. I wanted him higher. But look, he's a top 5 player in the league, and you've got to respect him. You simply have to respect Sicily, and if you don't, then you're in a world of hurt. So Sicily's leading. He's doing a great job as captain for this young Hawks side. Jai Newcomb pumped out a 119, just a contested beast. 10 disposals and 6 clearances, and that's where the damage was done. It was in the clearances. It was in the contested football, and this team just wanted it more, and they won it out of the middle. They won it out of every contest. Dylan Moore would push high up the ground and lay some really important crunching tackles as well. Very impressive. Will Day managed to find a way to get through a bunch of different things. So, like, it was Warple contributing, Nash contributing, and these are all players that would run through the midfield, apart from, of course, Sicily. And these were your top scorers for the Hawks. That is where you want your top scorers to be. Very Bulldogs-esque, with the midfielders dominating the scoring and leading the way for a very stirring victory by the Hawkers in what has been upset of the year. We almost had it against the Eagles. Thankfully, we held on. This was upset of the season from a bottom 4 side to beat clear number 1. Very impressive. Luke Bruce continues to do Bruce things. Connor Mack, he had a great game as well. People probably don't talk about him too much. Cam McKenzie was subbed on because Seamus Mitchell was subbed off. I really hope that doesn't happen again because I'm relying on Seamus Mitchell to keep playing. Finn McGuinness, the best tagger in the comp at this point, the most famous one who absolutely locked up Nick Dacos, who, as we all know now, unfortunately, is going to miss the next 6 weeks. That is rough. That is just adding insult to injury. Nick Dacos. What does this mean for Collingwood? It's going to be really tough. It was a horrible game. I can understand your feelings, Jen, but I'm pretty sure most of Australia thought this was a very good game. Jonas, how's it going, mate? Nathan Furphy is out injured with a red face after the slap him a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, look, you're not letting him go. You're not letting that one go. Yes, Shawnee, the tag was really well done. And Dacos losing so much stock after injury. The fact of the matter is, every time someone signs a big contract, shit hits the fan almost immediately afterwards. It is remarkable how quickly things turn around as soon as you sign a big contract. They need to make sure that Josh Dacos is wrapped in cotton wool very, very closely. Pendle's the only player to ton up for the Pies in this game, and Jack Crisp, the only one to score in the 90s. Wow. That is unreal. Unreal. 2 players scored over 85 in this game for Collingwood. This is the clear number 1 on the ladder. That is a horrendous score. But, you know, Pendles continue doing Pendles things. Now, there was footage I saw that David King was mentioning that Pendlebury's just too slow now to be playing in the midfield. And too often his direct opponent in the midfield would run off him and very quickly would start with 1 meter to 2 meters to 3 meters. And all of a sudden, all these Collingwood midfielders have to now leave their man to compensate for all the space that has now been created. So, look, Pendles has aged like a fine wine, one of the best players in the comp. The question is, does he stay in this midfield? Or do they have to send him to halfback where he might be more instrumental, and they don't have Nick Dacos now to provide that run and decision-making ability? Maybe it might be time for a position swap for Pendles and play him a bit behind the ball. Jack Crisp continues to run. He's a good player, Jack Crisp. Quaino looked pretty good, very dynamic off halfback. They might need to demand more from him now that Dacos is out. Steele, he's a good player, Steele. He works his ass off. Jordan De Goey, the question then becomes, they're losing a lot of midfield battles, and he's one of their big bulls. But they also need to hit the scoreboard. And they only kicked 11 goals against these guys. So it's difficult. Like, the question then becomes, what do you do with Jordan De Goey? Do you keep him on the ball, or do you have him play a bit more forward? Because they do need him to hit the scoreboard. They have to kick a winning score. Because where is Brody Myercheck, 1 behind only? That's not good enough. And Dan McStay, he kicked 2 goals whilst also working high up the ground and taking some marks. He looked pretty good, Dan McStay. But Myercheck as a number 1, while McStay goes up the ground, is difficult because clearly Ash Johnson shows that he's not consistent enough to really continue to be a contributor. I agree with you, Jen. It might be time to bring some players in the 2s in. You got to change it up. I think it might be time for Billy Frampton to come back. Because Billy Frampton, I know on Anzac Day, you guys were missing some players and you brought Billy Frampton in, and I thought he did a very good job. So, yeah, especially the players. Well, you got to reward form, and right now you guys are injury affected. He's got to do something about it. He's got to, Craig McRae's got to do something about it. Jonas was saying, Dacos would have let down. Chincotta and Chester at D6 will be painful. Yeah, I know, man. I'm telling you, it was a big letdown. And I'm stuck fielding Seamus Mitchell at D6. Maybe Jacob's performance levels might drop now. Well, they have such an amazing connection, the two of them, Tone. They just know where each other is at all times. It's really impressive, the connection that they've got. Obviously, they're brothers, and they've played a lot of football growing up together. But you're right, it could negatively impact. Tanner McShark, the biggest fish of them all. Love it. I love it every time you mention that, Jonas. And yeah, Darcy Cameron in the ruck had 31 hitouts, only the 74 points with 11 touches. Look, it was a difficult game. It was just a difficult game for him because he struggled to get any hitouts to advantage. Yeah, he had 31 hitouts, but the Hawks were the ones that just were dominant from these stoppages, and they were taking the ball forward so much. So a lot of these hitouts weren't yielding any points for DC. Hopefully that changes this week. You got tough matchup on Friday night against the Cats. But it was a down game by Darcy Cameron and what has been a really hot run of form ever since he came back from his injury. And I don't think anyone else really is super relevant. Tom Mitchell subbed out with that corky to his hammy. He was the one that they've brought in trying to hope that they can get some more clearances, get some more contested ball. Unfortunately, when he's down and out like this, all of a sudden that Collingwood midfield looks very susceptible, very offensively minded, and as soon as it gets out of there, they're in trouble. So this team is now all of a sudden showing a bit of collywobbles, dare I say it. Look, I still back them in to make some adjustments. They've still got players, as Jen said, who are dominating in the VFL. They got to come in and make some changes. The way the team is currently set up right now, it's not going to win them any flags. Yeah, they need to change things up. Pendle buried. He's time to put him down. All right, mate. Jonas, we got to put respect on Pendle's name. He's re-signed, bro. He's got an extra contract for next year, an extra year on his contract. I still think Pendle's has a lot to give. I just think it has to be behind the ball. I think it has to be behind the ball where he can see the ground and use his disposal and his decision-making ability. I don't think his position should be in the midfield anymore. I think it should be off halfback. Bring someone like a Bianco to help in the middle. You've got options. The midfield looks old now, lol. Yeah, I mean, look at the midfield. They were rocking Mitchell, Pendles, side bottom would go in there a bit. The goalie would go in there a bit. But you're right. It is an old midfield. It's not that young, dynamic compared to the Hawks. Sicily, Day, Warple, Nash. It's a stark difference. And the young, energetic legs from the Hawks, you could just see it. It was creating space for him and causing the Pies to have a lot of headaches. So, yeah, it's could try Noble. Noble's got some legs. Could try Bo McCreary. He's very dynamic. He's someone that can burst out as well. The problem is you don't want to take people away from their best position. And Noble's so great behind the ball. It might have to be a swap. Noble goes into the midfield and Pendles goes to the back line. But I think they need some more pace on the footy. The way they're currently set up just doesn't seem great. Pendle buried so slow, gets pressure quick and puts it out on the full. That's what I'm saying, Jonas. I reckon he needs to play behind the ball. I think if he's playing at halfback, if he's taking kick-ins, because I don't think it should all be on Darcy Moore. I don't think Darcy Moore should be... Where's Darcy Moore? Here he is. I don't think Darcy Moore should be the be-all and end-all in that backline. He doesn't have to be the one who takes all the kick-ins, who takes all the intercept marks, who has to initiate everything. I reckon Pendles will do great. We've managed to send Heppel behind the ball. Heppel was cooked. Heppel was done. But now Heppel has got a new lease on life. playing behind the footy, and he's been doing really well for us. Obviously really well for us in the grand scheme of things might not be great in the eyes of other teams. But there's certainly a spot, I reckon, for Pendles to play in the back line. He's also got decent height, so he can take some intercept marks. Let him be the one to facilitate, to initiate scoring chains out of the back line. I reckon Pendles should be moved behind the ball, and I reckon we'll see a new lease on life for him. They don't make too many changes, but they have to change a bit. They have to change a bit. I mean, and it's almost been forced, Sportsnut. They've got some injuries to important people who can't stay on the field. They've now lost 2 in a row, and these 2 losses have been largely from the midfield. So clearly they have to change up that midfield mix. So I reckon if they can do that, it has to be a little bit of tinkering. They need it. Pendles is old when he gets done holding the ball back. No, it never happens. Pendles always had time stopped for him. It's Father Time is immune to everyone, even to Scotty Pendlebury, right? So I think it's time for Pendles to be moved to a different position now in this later stage of his career. It's got to be behind the ball. Hepatitis is sick. Put him down already. Jonas, as sad as it is, we still need him. As sad as it is, we still need him, mate. I thought it was cooked early in the year. He's shown me he's got another year in him. So fingers crossed he can do well for me. All right. We move to the Catters, who hosted Port Adelaide at GMHBA Alphabet Stadium. Brian Myers, Lionel Messi, good old Messi, Brian Messi, mate, of the AFL, with some more goal assists, and he had 2 goals to go with his name as well. Absolutely dominating. Tommy Stewart, his role is just bellissimo for Supercoach scoring. A 134, 23 disposals. He just loves to play at home. 91% disposal efficiency. Reece Stanley had a decent game in the ruck, but then again, you look at who he played against and look at their ruckman, and you can't be surprised why. Young Dante Vicentini. Such an Italian name. I love it. But of course, the old experienced Stanley was going to take him to the cleaners, and that's what he did. Mitch Duncan, he eats into Stewart's scoring, which is so annoying as an owner of, as everyone owns Stewart. Dangerfield with 120 disposals. He's still trying to show us that he can do it. Ollie Henry, 4 goals. Don't expect this every week. This kid's a fraud. Isaac Smith, old Wiley Smith, 22 disposals and a goal of 90 points. Tatkins, the real Atkins, not too bad. Tanner Bruin, 78. Yeah, well done, mate. You suck. Bo, 73. You suck too. SDK, 71. Playing his defensive role where we know he can. Asava with with an audition for his soon-to-be new club, I reckon. Didn't do himself any disservice there. Gary Rowan, Jezza Cameron, what's happened, mate? This guy gets injured and just does not come back the same, unfortunately. This guy was on fire, cementing himself as the best player in the comp. 2 goals, 2. You can see it. He's not right. He is not right. And when he is not right, the Cats are not right. So, yeah. This Friday night game between the Cats and the Pies is just going to be season-defining. It really will be for both of these teams. It's going to be insane. Can Cameron please do something? I know, right? His drop-off has been insane. It's obviously it's out of his hands, and the discontinuity has now disrupted him. But my word, the Cats need him. The Cats need him. Jen, if Frampton comes, I would put Howe in the forward and Frampton in the back line, and they could stop a few times. Well, yeah, absolutely. Howe, when he went forward against Carlton, showed that he was very dangerous. He kicked 3 goals in a row. And I'm pretty sure Frampton also pinched hit in the forward line against us on Anzac Day and showed that he could do a decent job there. Not Supercoach related, but thoughts on the round 24 fixture. Let's just say I actually cackled so hard when I saw that the Carlton GWS game was going to be at 6:10 6:10 p.m. on Sunday. 6:10. That is unbelievable. Like, I'll obviously like it that we're playing on a Friday night footy. It's not too bad. I love Friday night football. I can go there after work. Unfortunately, I miss out on... The problem is, though, I won't be here. I would have flown to America by that. I would have flown to New York on August 20. So I don't get to watch this game live. I'll be watching it in the States. I'll be up in the middle of the night to watch this game. I'll be with my cousins and I'll be rooting my boys on to get over the line against the Pies. Unlikely to happen. Saturday, North v Gold Coast. Nothing game, really. Hawks Fremantle at the MCG, 1:45 p.m. Not too bad. Oh, Shawnee, good to see you, mate. Hope you enjoy your evening. Thanks so much for joining us. Brisbane v St Kilda at 4:35 p.m. That's a weird time slot, I feel. But yeah, I think it's no surprise that they're going to have us play Friday night football against the Pies. It will get a big crowd. Part of the reasoning why I think they did this at 6:10 p.m. It's set to be at Marvel Stadium, okay? And it's GWS. They've got no supporters. So I'm pretty sure the AFL probably forecasted that there's not going to be a lot of people at this game anyway. So we might as well push it out to the late game so that it doesn't overlap with any of the other games that are happening. So look, I can understand where that has come from. To be honest, it's still very funny that they're doing it at 6:10 on Sunday. I thought, is there a public holiday the next day or something? But no, I think they've just basically given up. They don't care about any fans coming for this game. And let's be real, Carlton will be playing finals. Carlton is in the finals. They've won enough now. They've beaten the best teams. They're going to play finals. There's no doubt in my mind. I think it's more so a bigger game for the Giants. Their game against us next week is going to be, again, season defining. So a lot of really intriguing matchups. Obviously, I reckon Collingwood will be becoming red hot favourites. Look, depends how North do, how they end the year. North obviously have a coach. Probably want to end the season strong. Whereas Gold Coast, do they have a reason to end strong? They've got a caretaker coach? I don't know. Hawks v Fremantle at the MCG. You'd have to support Hawthorn for that game. Brisbane versus St Kilda. You'd think Brisbane are hot favourites there. This is going to be a really interesting game. Geelong are walking wounded right now, but they're playing at home. And the Dogs seem to have found their bite and their bark. So they're playing pretty well, the Doggies. Meanwhile, West Coast versus Adelaide at Optus Stadium. I think West Coast, I don't know, they'll know by then whether or not they can get pick one. And that will probably determine how hard they play, probably. Port v Richmond at Adelaide Oval. This is going to be a scintillating game. Richmond are really good at Adelaide Oval against Port. Will be a really good game. Sydney v Melbourne SCG will also be a really good game. I think this game, Sydney can still play finals. So it's very interesting that they got them very late in the piece. GWS can play finals. I reckon they can. And Port Adelaide v Richmond. I think by this point, Richmond would be done. I think Richmond would be cooked by this point. So, yeah. Interesting fixture. Very interesting fixture. Yep, so we'll talk about them. Port Adelaide, look, they did a decent job, to be honest, playing at GMHBA Stadium. Zach Butters, 30 disposals. He's back to his best. He had a slump, but he's playing it out of his skin again. Ryan Burton, mate, where'd this come from? 115, 25 touches. Just these random players suddenly pop up for Port Adelaide and score really well. Rosie, 27 touches for 99 points. Let down, 77 for Clangers. Not too bad. Willem Drew, he's a very underrated defensive midfielder, Willem Drew. Very underrated. I'd like him at our club. Todd Marshall did all right with 2 goals, 1. Willie Rioli, sharpshooter Rioli. 4 goals straight, if you don't mind. Dylan Williams, this was such a miss. Damn you, Ken Hinkley. How dare you drop him only to then make him the sub? Oh, This guy was locked into my team until he was dropped. That is disgusting. Ollie Wines, 85 points. It's not the same Ollie Wines that you knew and love. Juan Francis, 60% efficiency with 5 clangers. He left a lot of points out there on the field. Very bad, very naughty. Dan Houston, the Burn Man. He is called the Burn Man for a reason. 61 points only in this game. He's had a much better season than this game. He's really let himself down in this one. I reckon he was in hot All-Australian form. I hope one bad game doesn't preclude him from that. So that was that game. Let's see. Meerkat is not All-Australian. 6 goals, 12 behinds, 37 goal assists. That's a lot of goal assists, mate. That's a lot of goal assists. Jen will be getting tickets. Very well. Congratulations. As I said, I unfortunately won't be able to go to that game. Quite refreshing to see West Coast Eagles competitive. Look, it's not good when you've got teams at the bottom of the ladder just shit. It's not good for the comp. They were certainly competitive on the weekend, and we definitely helped them and allowed them to be competitive. So I wouldn't say that they are a very competitive side. I'd say that our colors were really bad. We just came in, I think, and clearly expected it to happen. So, look, kudos to them for trying, and they really did try, and they started to believe when they saw that we weren't putting them away. But we have a lot of problems at our club. Jonas, where do I rank Aaron the Naughty Man and Charlie, son of a dick, for key forwards? Okay. So I assume you mean Aaron Norton and Charlie, son of a dick, Charlie Curnow. Mate, Charlie Curnow is number 1 in the league. There's no doubt about it. Aaron Norton is... Look, he works hard. Aaron Norton tries hard. He flies for things. He brings the ball to ground. I don't know. Son of a dick, Charlie Dixon. Fair enough. Thanks, Tone. I think Charlie Dixon is... I don't know. He tries. Like I said, he tries hard, but I don't think he's great. I think he's overrated. When the news of him moving over to Port Adelaide and everyone was going up and about and was saying, "Oh, we've got Charlie Dixon," I was like, "Yeah, sure, fine." I don't think he's sensational. I don't think he takes over games. I think he's a big man that doesn't play quite as big as he tries to look. To be honest, I think Tom Hawkins plays bigger than Charlie Dixon. I think Tom Hawkins and Tex Walker are true big men, I think, of the competition. I just think Charlie Dixon just can't dominate a game like they can. Aaron Norton, on the other hand, he probably can. There are games where Aaron Norton is just simply unstoppable. Now, the thing is, he probably stops himself and the way he lands, and he's gotten himself injured a few times. And the thing with Norton is that he also has a lot of supply. He plays for the Bulldogs. They get the ball into him a lot. I'd put Aaron Norton above Charlie Dixon, though. I'd put Aaron Norton above Charlie Dixon. I think what Norton can give you at ground level is better than what Dixon can give you. I don't think Dixon at ground level is sensational. So, yeah, I don't know. I'll probably rank Norton ahead of Dixon. Yep. Go Matildas. Oh, how are we doing? How are the Matildas doing? What's the score, Jen? All right, we'll quickly go through this game. Giants versus the Swannies. Battle of the Bridge. The Swans got the Chockies. McLean, mate. Well done, Hayden McLean. Life without Buddy. He showed us that he can do it. Chad Warner, what a Chad. He's back to his best. He was injury interrupted, but he's now in full flight. Errol Goulden has to be in All-Australian form. This kid is a superstar. Jet. Amazing goals. Bellissimo player. I reckon I'm starting him next year as well. James Rowbottom could be someone that I'll also start next year. Very impressive player. Lloyd doing Lloyd things. Cal Mills. Anya Millsy, 28 disposals, 5 tackles, 60% efficiency. Left some points out there, but more of this, please. Parker is getting on in years. Hickey was recalled. 21 headouts is not a lot. Very bad. Oh, just about to start. Cool. Thanks, Jen. Robbie Fox, Tom McCartan. Yeah, no one really. The Lizard Blakey certainly let himself down there. Only 61 points. Florent is the biggest fraud. Yeah, I'd never have him. I'd never have him in my team, Ty. Don't you worry about that. Amadi Party, bro. What's going on, Party? 2 goals, 34 points. That's pretty bad. It just started, Jen. All right, I'm gonna have to go quickly through this because I want to watch this game. Tom Green, Jonas, behold, the man who is gassed out. Soccer is always 0-0 because you fall asleep and the game ends. Mate, Jonas, there was a lot of controversy last night in the soccer with the penalties. Yeah, that was very exciting, the shootout. Tom Green, 126. Behold his glory, mate. 141 Dream Team. 141, bro. Look at that. Briggsy, I love you, mate. 122. Well done. Did really well. Buckley, interesting. Cogs, 106. Back to his normal standard. Ward, did okay. Bedford, suspended. Well done, dumbass. Himmelberg, 91. Not too bad. He signed on. Congratulations to him. Lockie Whitfield copped the tag. 87 points. They knew what they were doing, the Swans. Very good coaching. Tobias Green, 71 points, 3 goals. This guy is still a freak. I love watching Toby. Sam Taylor, best defender in the league. Saved a couple of certain goals with his touches. And that was that game. The 7 or 8 winning streak for the Giants comes to a screeching halt. This game, speaking about screeching halts, North Melbourne came flying out of the gates. Really left Melbourne Demons behind, but to their credit, they clawed back and they reeled them in quick, smart. Maxi Gawn trying to put his name up for All-Australian captain still. Don't leave me out of your All-Australian contention. It's not a foregone conclusion. I am better than English, says Gawn. Petrarca, 125, 27 disposals, 2 goals, 3. Again, very inaccurate. Could get us a lot more points. Lockie Hunter just continues to find disposals on a wing. He works his ass off. Very impressive. Neil Bullen, Brayshaw. Yeah, this role ain't sticking around when Clary is back, which is apparently this week. So keep your eyes peeled on that. James Jordan, come to Essendon, please. We will use you. We will appreciate you, James Jordan. Please come to Essendon. Van Rooyen, this guy, he's a big boy. We can see why he was very highly rated by the Demons. They're giving him a lot of game time. They're really trusting him, and they're even putting him in some rock contests. Well done, Van Rooyen. Cosy Pickett, electric, dynamic, looked to have turned it on. Broke Zeebel's ankles. Teletubby Green? Or Toby Green? Toby or Teletubby? Look, he's not Tubby, bro. He's strong. We'll go Teletubby. Teletubby Green. I like Teletubby on you. Thank you for giving me the option, Jonas. I really appreciate that, mate. Stephen May, Chandler, 76 points with 3 goals. Goes to show he didn't do too much else. Yep, cool. Over for North Melbourne, Zeeble. Bro, we thought you were retired. We thought you were done. What are you doing? Why are you playing full games now and taking away points from Shazel? Huh? Why you do this? Freaking Clarko comes back and ruins everything. Bloody Clarko. Damn you. Simkin 116, Goldie 110. This guy just a lot of respect for Goldie. I really have a lot of respect for Goldie. He does good work. Taron Thomas 101. CS stuff you. Will Phillips, Eddie Ford, not bad. 3 goals, 66 points. Ben Mackay, he's not worth 800 grand. I don't care what anyone says. Yep, cool. Sorry about that. Next game. Second last game of the round. Your boys, Jonas, the Blues, got over the top of St Kilda, who were up by 22 points at halftime, and they just ran over the top of him. Rowan Marshall did very well in the ruck, did very decently. Brad Crouch, 0 disposals in the last quarter. 0. Where's Steele? 0 disposals in the last quarter. 0. Shame. Shame on both of them. Sinclair with a 99, not too bad. Was playing better behind the ball, in my opinion, playing off halfback. But it is what it is. Nazai did well. And Machino Owens is a gun. Superstar. I love him. Windhanger did all right. Yep. We come over to the Blues. Doherty, 107, not bad. 3 behinds. Could have scored more, obviously. Georgie Boy Hewitt, he's back. He's back doing George things. 8 tackles, if you don't mind. 91 efficiency. Very nice from George. Hollins, very, very well-deserved Rising Star nomination. He was sensational. He was unbelievable, Hollins. This kid is a jet. He's so good, so hardworking. As is Blake Acres. That goal that he kicked in the last quarter, holy crap. He got the ground of the ball, dodged through 2 people, handballs over the top. He then mops up someone else's mistake, cuts his way through 3 people, and then kicks the goal from 55 meters out. That is one of the best solo efforts I have seen this year. That was unbelievable. Jack Steele went huge. 57 big boy points. Yep. Man of spew. That's a good one, Global. I love it. Man of spew. Paddy Dow looked really good for the Blues. And Sard 61. Yeah, no, Doherty is the man now. Doherty is the man again for the Blues. And that is that for this game. Get to the final game of the round. The Dockers just fell short against the Lions. Akers once played for the Saints. They are spewing now, Tone. They are spewing now. Luke Jackson, without Darcy, is just taking the P155. Just taking the piss is Luke Jackson. 44 hitouts. Unbelievable. Against Darcy Fort. So, yeah. If Sean Darcy leaves Freo at the end of the year, Luke Jackson, guys, lock him in. Lock him in your teams, boys. Yeah. Even had 24 disposals, 1 goal, 2. Could have had more. 5 clangers at 66 efficiency. He could have had more. So much more. Sarong, ball magnet, contested beast, 14 clearances. Andy Brayshaw, 124, 29 touches, 6 tackles, very nice. Great duo. Hayden Young moved into the midfield. Could Hayden Young be in our midfields next year, guys? Keep an eye out. That was very impressive from him. Liam Henry could be out the door. And no one else, really. No one else, really, for the Dockers. English and Jackson next year could very well be. If Jackson has forward status, I'm putting him in the forward line. I don't think he will have forward status, though. But, mate, I really hope Jackson has forward status. I would trade Darcy for sure. Depends what they get back from him, from the Cats. I think a lot of it depends on what they would get back. But yeah, they traded for Jackson, and this is what Jackson can provide. Oscar McNerdy was out there. Yeah, he was McNerdy. Yeah, no, the nerd. He was off studying for some exam. Jonas. Hayden Young, Dandenong Stingrays. Yeah, I know. I love Dandenong Stingrays around the corner from me. Hayden Young, hey, he could be doing good. Gorn, if Grundy leaves. Very astute as well. There's going to be a bunch of solo rucks. Could be, but it could still come down to value, though, Globes. Could come down to value. If I'm going to have a solo Gorn, Gorn will probably be expensive. Jackson probably might be the cheaper option, and English is going to be over 700k, and I'm never paying 700k for another player again. I've learned that lesson. I'm not doing that. If the way English is going, it's going to be over 700k, and I can't pick him up. I know Globes. I've been talking about him for so much. I love it. I love Oscar. Oscar's a superstar. He's not leaving that team. He's going to be the next captain. Like, I'd give him 3 first rounders. I would give him 3 first rounders to get Oscar onto our team. But he's not leaving. He's their next captain. He's super emotionally invested there. But if we can talk to him, 3 first rounders, we'll get it done, I reckon. Tone, Jackson might pump a lot of 100%. I think Jackson's a must. If Sean Darcy leaves Freo, then I think Jackson becomes a must. Absolute must have. Bromax is not over, Joe. Look, I don't know, bro. Maxi Gorn is really old. Isn't he? How old is Max Gorn? Isn't he like 32 already? 31? When is he turning 32? How old is Max Gorn? When's Max Gorn's birthday? 30th of December, 1991. Yeah, he'll be 32 this year. End of this year, Maxi Gorn will be 32. He'll be entering next year as a 32-year-old. I don't know. I think I might go Sean Darcy over Max Gorn. Plus, Darcy should be cheaper than Gorn. So I think it's going to be all about the value selections next year. Heck, don't dismiss Kieran Briggs as an option either. Kieran Briggs could still be doing really good. Jen, if he has forward, I would have both Jackson and Decamp in my team. Yeah. Agreed, Jen. I think having both of them in the team could be really good. That's what I was hoping to do this year. I was hoping this year to have a team with all the ruckmen, Gorn, English, Decam, Rowan Marshall. I wanted to have all of these number 1 ruckmen for their teams because they're really good scorers. So hopefully we can get a few more of those solo rucks next year. And if just 1 or 2 of them have forward status, we're laughing. Would I want Eric Hipwood? That's a very good question, Tone. No one's actually asked me that one before. He's definitely dynamic. He's tall. He can take a mark. He's good on the lead. I don't know about his set shot, though. I'm pretty sure he's a pretty suspect set shot. And it also depends on what we have to give up for him. But it's clear that we need another forward. That's for sure. I like Mitchell Lewis. I do like Mitchell Lewis, but there's no way the Hawks are letting him walk out. And I'm not sure the Lions are going to let Eric Hipwood walk out as well. They're in a premiership window right now, the Lions. And Mitchell Lewis is one of the cornerstones of their forward lines at the rebuilding Hawks. So, again, these are all great options. I just don't think they can be realistically done is the problem. You know, that's why we're talking about them, because they're so good. I'd love to have any of these players to supplement our forward line, because Wiedemann is not that. Anywhere on Devil Rob going to the Eagles? What pick is he worth? That's a good. I haven't been paying attention to. I think Devil Rob is likely to go. To be honest, I think he's more likely than not. What pick is Devil Rob worth? Probably a second rounder. I wouldn't. If I was the Eagles, I wouldn't give more than a second rounder. No way for Devil Rob. Jared Berry. 120, not bad for Berry. McCluggage with the 116. He was the one that managed to capitalize on the reduced output from Neil and Dunkley this week, which was very surprising. Cam Rayner. I mean, this is a very stacked list. For them to have been this close to the Dockers is very disappointing for him. Georgiades Globes. Yeah, that's not too bad. It's not too bad. I just feel like Georgiades is still a bit too timid, though. I don't know. I feel like he isn't. I feel like he's capable, but he doesn't take over games like he probably should. I think he finds himself in situations where he could take a clunker mark, but then drops the mark. Or he could be in a position to kick a goal, but then misses it. And I feel like we don't want another one of those players that can't own the moment. I think we need players who can own the moment, who can stand up in clutch situations. Because you look at what happened on the weekend against the Eagles. We had 2 sitters in front of goal, Phillips and Guelphy, and they both missed horribly. We need to have people that are reliable in front of goal. So someone, I don't know, Jamie Elliott would be great, but he doesn't match our profile. We need a big key forward that is a really good set shot. That's what I think. I think if we can have, it doesn't even have to be a super great shot. If he's someone that can crash packs and bring the ball to ground, could also be really helpful. A guy like Joey Danaher would be pretty good right about now. Stuff you, Joe. Bloody Judas. But yeah. Great chat, lads. And Jen, of course, as well. Papley. Mate, he's good. Papley is good. He's annoyingly good. Yeah, our small forwards right now are pretty crap, to be completely honest. They will be good in future. We're going to have a lot of great young Indigenous talent in the team. And I can't wait to see Tex Wanganeen back in the side. Tex Wanganeen is killing it in VFL level. So we need Tex to come back. I know Brad Scott saying that he is a development coach. Bruv, play these youngsters. Develop them. We want to see what we've got. Our Papley is really good. How old is Papley anyway? Does he fit our 27? Papley's 27 years old, so he's probably want to go to it. He's probably going to stick around at the Swans. To be honest, I think he's around these youngsters. He's in a young team. I don't quite see why he would leave from the Swans to come to us when we're almost the same thing. We're almost the same as the Swans, except they've got a history. They've got a modern culture of success, whereas we're trying to build one ourselves. So I'm not quite sure why Papley would come to us when he's already got a very young team in already. If there was a way to, yeah, I'll have to sit and think about it. Who are some players that I'd like to get to come to our team? But at the moment, I think we've got a lot of. He almost went to Carlton. Yes, that's true, Globes. But he wasn't going to a young team. Carlton are a team building for the now. They have been trading aggressively and bringing in a lot of free agents from a lot of different teams. So he's clearly the Carlton team clearly were coming in with, we're aiming for the premiership. We want to win the flag. And so the way that Sydney are in the young developing list, it's almost like a bit of like a rebuild, so to speak. Whereas Carlton are looking to challenge now. So if he went to Carlton, it's because he's chasing success as well as money. But he stuck around. He did the team thing, the cultural thing. So that is that, ladies and gentlemen. I think we'll call it a night. My nose is starting to fail me again. So thank you all so much for watching. Had a wonderful time, as always, talking with you fine gentlemen and gentlewoman, gentle lady, Jen. It was great. Hope you had enjoyed it. Leave a like, please, for the stream. Come on, Matildas. We've got to support them. I know I'm not a big soccer fan myself, but if it's Australia playing, we got to support our girls. Globes, massive love. We'll see you all on the Thursday night team sheet reaction as usual. Hope you enjoy the rest of the evening. Hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Looking forward to seeing you guys on Thursday. Thanks, Jonas, for coming around. Yeah, man, I'm going to turn on the soccer, and that's why I've got a bed here. Turn the soccer on and fall asleep very soon after. Have a lovely night, everybody. Much love. We'll see you on Thursday. Bye.